Hey guys, what is up? Welcome back to another episode of the Smart Flip with myself and Matt Shirley. Um, Here to bring you guys the goods today. Guys, we have been busy. Me and Matt have we've actually been like in our reselling businesses like killing it lately.
We we have definitely been more invested in this than maybe we were over the summer.
Yeah, exactly. So, well, I mean, I had a baby, so I took off about 90 days buying locally aggressively, but I had my repeats and stuff. But this month I'm probably gonna hit my first month fully back on like myself only. Because I let go of some like VAs and stuff while we had the baby and all of that stuff. And I was like, you know what? I'm always telling people that you can do $10,000 by yourself, and here I am about to hit it. My very first, I thought it was going to take me probably 2 months to like get the numbers back up, you know? Um,
I
it did not.
was wrong.
It's like riding a bike, it's like once you know what to do,
Yeah,
you just, we were just talking about it before the podcast. When it's easy, you go hard, right?
yeah, yeah.
So
It's true.
it's pretty cool. Um, but it's funny because I'm actually getting a MetaQuest Pro Ubered to me right now. It'll be delivered to my house, so I may actually have to walk out and go buy it. Um, well, get it anyway, and then pay the guy on the call, which would be pretty cool.
Yeah,
Um, but I've been buying a lot of those lately. I got two of them over here for proof of concept. Oh my gosh, it's heavy.
those are great. They're good flips.
MetaQuest Pros, right? I've just been
Yo,
selling them as the whole thing just to get rid of them.
yeah,
I don't want a ton of inventory, so I'm still making like 200 each. So I'm pretty happy with that. I'll pay the convenience of having it out of my house, which is a little bit of lost profit, but that's fine with me. I'm big on speed. Um, but today, guys, our topic um, is going to be how to manage the work life, or I guess entrepreneur and life balance that comes with being a successful reseller. So, one of the Recelerator students brought this up today and asked me about it, and he was just like, "Oh, hold on, this guy's texting me. Yes,
uh-oh.
can you share the driver link thing when you have it?" Cool. It's the guy Ubering the thing to me.
Yeah,
Anyway, we're
mhm.
going to talk about kind of how to balance your life around the business, right?
Right.
And he actually had a good question. So let me pull up the question. Uh, where's it at? I don't know if he wants me to say his name on the pod, so I'm not going to. Anyway, he was like, okay, maybe if there's like a guideline you follow or a schedule we can go off. He was like 6 a.m., wake up, negotiate, set up leads, 8 list items on eBay and ship, 12 meetup, 4 meetup, 6 set up leads for an hour, right? So I'm gonna give you guys my walkthrough, what I personally do. Okay. And this is how a one-man show should be able to do it. And it makes it incredibly easy. Okay, for me anyway. So here's what I do, guys. I don't start working till 11 a.m. every day. Okay, like that's when my day starts. Okay, a lot of the times I negotiate leads the day before and set them up for 12 the next day, but I
Hey,
don't usually start working until about 11. Like working, sit down at my computer or get on my like start doing the stuff, right?
yeah, yeah.
But by that time, I usually, because of the evening before, when people either didn't show up or something like that, I'll schedule them for 12 o'clock the next day, right? But I don't usually start my day until 12 just because I got the kids and I got the whole stuff, homeschooling, all that stuff, right? So that's kind of my whole thing is like I don't start the day until 11. I meet up with people at 12. I'll negotiate a little bit in between. I'll take phone calls whenever they come in. Most of the day I'm actually doing recelerator tasks, resell deck stuff, replying to people inside of Slack, helping out our students. Like that's what I'm actually doing most of the day. Okay. And then around like, well, it's 3 o'clock right now. We're doing a podcast on a Tuesday, right?
Yep,
So
yep.
like that's part of the schedule. Um, and I'm doing like things in between. Like I'm actually negotiating with the lead while I'm on the podcast to kind of that's what I do, right? I'm pretty good at like doing things while I'm doing other things. I guess that's called multitasking. But um, anyway, I'll negotiate leads in between meetups along with like do my Zoom calls and stuff like that. Then I meet up with people at 5. Okay? And that's how it works. Now, here's the thing that most people don't do. Um, as soon as I buy something, I list it or I draft the invoice. That's how it works. Like that's how I do things. I don't have a designated quote unquote listing day anymore. Okay? Like as soon as it, and Matt knows this, like as soon as that thing is bought, I am riding that buyer's high straight into the sale, baby. Like guys, there is many times where I will list something literally at Starbucks because Starbucks has good lighting. I'm gonna be real. Like they got good lighting. And it will be sold by the time I get home. Okay? And if I'm not able to list the whole thing while I'm there, I will take the photos there. Okay? Like and there's a reason I do that. It's because I'm riding that buyer's high, right? Because here's a crazy rule for you guys, and I know this is gonna sound like stupid, but the faster you list something, the faster it sells. Like it's this wild concept
Oh
that I
man.
teach. Um, Matt, you probably have a great rule around that.
Yeah. I don't, should I share my routine?
Yeah, mine. Like I said, mine's pretty simple, dude. It's it's just like that. Like as soon as I buy something, I sell it. My meetups are 12 and 5 every day. I'll
Yeah.
talk to people in between. I'll answer phone calls in between. I will literally answer phone calls while I'm living life and be like, all right, cool. Yeah, let me pull up a price sheet. I can pay this. Okay, you don't like that? All right, well, what carrier is it with? Okay, you don't like that price either? Okay, cool. How much stores does it have? All right, cool.
Yeah.
You don't like that price? Got anything else?
Right.
No? Okay, cool. Let me know if anything changes. Bye.
Right. On to the next one.
Yeah, I get enough leads to where it's not really a big issue. The
Yeah.
only now, okay, I will say I filter in reach outs sparingly. Like I would say like
Yeah.
because I get enough leads to where it's like I don't really need them. But if things are a little slow that day, I'll pop into Marketplace. You know,
Yeah.
I'll go find some MetaQuest Pros like I just did earlier. Today's kind of a slower day. You know, I popped in, I saw a MetaQuest Pro for $350. I was like, hey, I'll buy
Hey.
this, but you're far away. Like that's not going to work for me. I'm not going to drive all the way to Spring, Texas from League City. That's not going to work for me.
Nope.
Um, so he was like, okay, well, what can we do? And I'm like, well, I can have it Ubered to me if that's cool with you. And bam, boom, bang, bam, it's on its way. Here, let me pull it up. I'll show the proof because I know people like proof. So let me pull up Uber is being when it pulls up anyway, and then we'll go on to Matt's routine.
Yeah.
Uh, one of these days. All right, here we go. Let's see, 84 minutes. Dang. So it is being delivered all the way across Houston right now.
Wow.
Okay, it'll be here in like an hour and a half. So,
That's wild.
right? So, like, I don't even know if I'll be here. Oh, it says it drop off location. Yeah, it says 4:44 p.m. So,
So for
it,
context, Chris, how much will that courier service cost?
oh, I don't know. That guy paid for it, surprisingly. Usually I
Oh,
paid for it, but
sick.
he paid for it this time. He even dropped his price down to 300 if I came and picked it up, but I was like, I'm not driving out there.
Fair.
Um, like it would have been a great deal. I won't lie, but
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
not driving an hour and a half to go get it. And that's
Yeah.
why I presented the Uber option. And I was like, look, I'll buy it, like no problem.
Right.
Here's my Google listing. Here's all my stuff. You can read my reviews, and I'll pay upon delivery or PayPal
Yeah.
beforehand. He's like, well, I don't have PayPal, and I'm like, all right, well, that's the only options I'm giving you. So, and I
Yeah.
think that's another thing. Like, I was on a call with one of our students right before this.
Uh-huh.
I think resellers just give people too many options, you know?
Yeah.
I think that's a big thing because that's something I just don't do
Yeah.
anymore. Anyway, okay, I used to give people the benefit of the doubt. I used to believe everybody. Like, I don't
Yeah.
believe anything until I see it at this point. Um, I don't, you know, it's all of that stuff, right? Like I just don't give people a lot of options anymore. It's like
Yeah.
it's this, or it's just not going to work. I'm sorry, right? But anyway, let's move into your routine, Matt. And mine's kind of boring. So,
Well, people ask me like when people say, "Hey man, how you doing? What's up? How's it been going?" I'm like, "Dude, I live dad life, so it's the same routine and different date stamp each day."
yeah, pretty much.
Um, but I think it's different. Like now, if I were lone wolfing this, if I were just like a smoking gun, like single dude, out there, like my routine's going to look a lot different. So
Hmm.
is Chris's. The way or the reason that my life is the way it is because I have a wife and two kids and my mom who currently lives with all of us because my father passed some years ago. Uh, that I'm taking care of. And so that has a different level of responsibility for me. So for me, guys, like, yeah, I'm usually up quite earlier. Like my work day starts a little bit different. So I'll pop up usually somewhere between 5:30 and 6:30. Um, I'll do everybody has different mindfulness routines, but I'll do like a 1 mile kind of prayer walk around my neighborhood. I'll kind of lock in with my faith. And then after I do that, I'll spend probably like a brief time doing a workout or getting ready to look at the market because I trade futures. And then around like the market open, I'll trade futures. And then I jump into my resale routine. Um, my resale routine typically looks like it could look like a few things. Honestly, guys, I have to shape it around the coaching aspect of what I do, which I
Yeah.
don't think a lot of people realize that like
Yeah.
Chris's day could be a day where he's picking up product, or if somebody books something and needs help, it could be a day where he's not doing that at all. And it could be the same for me.
Yeah.
But generally speaking, let's say I do have a call with the student or somebody who's wanting to grow their business. That's going to be reserved for the afternoon. That's on purpose so that in the morning time I can sit down and usually like the evening before I'll have actually mapped out my day and like a daily journal that I have. And so I use this to sort of like catalog the day. You guys want to see what it looks like? Just lets me kind of
Nice.
like post stuff up on a daily basis. And when I write it down, it tends to stick a little bit better. So I like that. Express gratitude for each day and an insight on what I can improve for each day. Now, with that game plan in place, I'm typically looking to take that mental map from the day before and walk that out throughout the day. Um, so after trading, it looks like focusing on my own business, which is if I have something to ship, that is the first priority. Like get something, if I have something to sell, I'm going to get it listed. If I have something that's sold, I've got to get it shipped. That's going to be the first priority. The next thing is if I don't have anything immediately, or I feel like I've got a little bit of room for extra inventory, I may do some sourcing, but I have sourcing days. Thursday, Friday, and Sunday are my sourcing days, specifically days where I can usually go to a pawn shop where the manager isn't present and I can get better deals with the relationships that I've cultivated with individuals there, usually shift managers. Um, or I can, jump on Facebook Marketplace, offer up Craigslist, Nextdoor app, and source for deals, which I do a lot less these days because I've been buying a lot of bulk stuff. Um, and so if the afternoon presents itself as like completely available, um, I'll do lunch. I may take a nap if it's like, bro, I honestly really need one, because I do get up pretty early. But otherwise, I'm just kind of reassessing. Do I have more stuff to ship? Am I good on inventory? I typically try not to consume more than like I'll buy my max, and some of you guys will disagree with this, but my max on inventory for me at this stage of life is about a grand. And the reason being is because depending on how many consoles, because I don't run ads, Chris knows this, I don't run ads, but I have great connections and I do excellent with reach outs. So depending on how many consoles I have, about $1,000 worth of consoles is plenty of work. That's usually a couple days worth of work for me to get all those packed up. And so if that's the case, then I'm gonna spend time doing that. I'm gonna get them shipped off. Like last week, I sent off about 8 consoles. The week before that, I sent out 13. Um, plus, well, actually, no, 13 was just like 2 days. But yeah, so it could be a lot of that stuff. And then, yeah, I'm gonna be answering messages in between. I'm gonna be on Slack channel just like you are, Chris.
Yep.
I'm gonna be back and forth between me and Chris. And then I always try to have the day done and wrapped up by 5 p.m. Okay, so if people want to be specific, like when do you have a specific shipping day and listing day? No, I
Every
don't.
day.
I generally try to get that done ASAP
Yeah.
because I like to keep my eBay store reputation up. And in order to do that, you've got to get stuff out within like 24 hours.
Yep.
So that's always the priority. Like between urgent and important, that's always in that corner. If you guys know about the Eisenhower quadrants, if you don't worry about it. But that's always urgent and important. What's always important too is to always be sourcing, right? You got to have abs, always be sourcing. But
Abs.
but if I have enough inventory, then I discipline myself to not spend the money and get that stuff listed because that stuff needs to get sold and nobody's trying to start another death pile.
No.
So there are disciplines to my day, guys, but generally I'm done by 5 p.m. And I work a lot between my home and my carport where I get a lot of stuff shipped and done. As far as systems goes, I have boxes and all my stuff set in designated spaces so I can do this expeditiously and get things out. And I've got a shipping center literally a half mile around the corner that accepts UPS, USPS, FedEx,
I
and
found
DHL.
one of those recently too, and I've been
Yeah.
using it a lot.
Sick.
If you have a shipping station in your area, I'd recommend using that instead of USPS. They seem to do a little bit better, in my opinion, because
Yeah.
they're private owned and all of that stuff. Uh,
What what I like about them is, first of all, I've told them what I do, and they save boxes for me.
that's
So
awesome.
I source boxes from the place that I ship out regularly. Notice
Oh,
I don't ever pay them a dime, but somehow they're still able to kind of make a little bit, I think, with the courier fees.
yeah,
And then secondly, what was the other thing? Sometimes they'll occasionally cut me deals on like products like tape, stuff like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
So
Well,
that's kind of cool.
I get tape Amazoned to me, so
Yeah.
same day delivery type stuff. But yeah, so that's another good point is like shipping, right?
Yep.
So that's another thing that I like about my process is the faster I list something, the faster it gets shipped,
It's
right?
true. Yeah.
So like that's part of the game, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not like I ship what is needed to be shipped every day, if that makes sense. You
Yeah.
know, like I sell the thing and it gets shipped. That's how it works. And that's all, right? Sometimes
Yeah.
though, what I will do is like if I have extra time, I'll just go ahead and just simply start packing stuff up, or
Yeah.
my wife will just pack stuff up, or somebody will pack stuff up early. That way it's just ready to go, and then we'll mark what it was on the box,
Mhm.
and then just put the shipping label on top of whatever we marked, right?
Nice. Yeah.
So that works too. Um, but I mean, once you get good at shipping stuff and you got enough supplies to ship stuff well,
Yeah.
um, you get pretty fast.
Yeah.
So that's also part of the game, right?
Yeah. Excuse me.
Um, so
Yeah.
like yeah, in
Um,
terms of shipping, I don't re like it's now I will say Mondays are probably my biggest shipping day.
yeah.
Because there's something that I do to get rid of inventory every Saturday, and I basically call it like a purge.
Yeah.
Is where I will send offers to watchers. If I on any items that are like over 7 days old on my eBay account,
That's a good
right?
idea. That's a really good idea.
Reason for that is like I just want to get my money back, right? Like I'm still profiting. Like I bought it well enough to know like I can drop it down and I'll still make enough money to justify buying it, right?
Yep. Yeah.
Or if I made a mistake, which I sometimes do, um, I'll just get rid of it. I'll sell it at cost or a little more than cost on what I paid, or I'll even sell it for the loss just to get the money back, right?
Yeah.
Like that's a big thing because I notice a lot of resellers are like, oh, I just want to hold out and hold out and hold out, and the longer you hold out, the harder it is, Like number one, it's depreciating, and number two, like you're already like not going to make much money. So like you're just holding out, waiting for that one person,
Mm.
you
Yep.
know, to buy it. And that's, the market just isn't set up that way. Um, so for me though, I send offers every Saturday. I send
Good.
offers. I don't offer offers on my listing. Okay,
Right.
that's an important distinction. I
Yeah.
send offers myself. which is like usually a 5% discount.
Yeah.
Um, and that's about it. So that's a
Yeah.
good way that I get rid of inventory pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, that's another piece of the puzzle there, I guess.
That's
But I
good.
mean, if I was to say the most valuable part of all of it is number one, I'm very good at the marketing and negotiation part. I'm very good at that. Um, and I've figured out that it's a system for myself at this point where
Yeah.
it's like if I buy something, I need to get it up as soon as possible, or I need to get it shipped out as soon as possible.
Yeah.
I'm not like as a home-based reseller, I'm not tied to like the like pawn laws that pawn shops are tied to, right?
Yeah.
I'm not
Yep.
operating from a storefront or under a quote unquote pawn shop license or anything like that. So
Yeah.
it's, like as a home-based reseller, you can, do whatever you want. I mean, guys, I'm gonna sell probably 70 items this month and do over 10,000 in profit. Like, come on, that's crazy, you
It's
know?
sweet. It's
But
awesome.
it's because I'm high margin, right?
Yeah.
Um, I mean, there was two items I made $3,000 in profit on this month, right? If I add in the drone
Combined.
combined, yeah. Um, but there was also the drone, and that all comes out to about 3,800 total in profit, just from those three buys, right? And that's another thing as well, is like right before this call, I was doing a check-in call with one of the clients, and he was getting a good amount of leads. His closing rate wasn't as good as it could have been for Facebook. It was like 2% when it should have been close to 8 to 10%, right? And that, by the way, guys, that's the stuff we look at in Recelerator. Like that's what we look, KPIs is what I look at. It's like, look, I can tell exactly how your business is doing
Yep.
just by looking at your tracking sheet. If you've been filling it out, if you've been logging your inventory, I can see what's happening immediately. How much does it cost for you to get a customer? Or how much does it cost for you to get a meetup? What is your CAC, right? What is your cost to acquire a client? How much does it cost you to get a butt in the seat at Starbucks with electronics with them,
Yeah.
right? It should be about $25. Should be. If
Right.
it's lower, you're doing amazing. If it's higher, you got to work on it.
Yep.
So I don't know how I went off on that, but
Well, one quick thing though, to the point of using a shipping center, like it's a place around the corner for me. It's called the Mail Center. I mentioned they include several couriers. One thing I really appreciate, every time I drop a package off, they send me an email with the respective tracking numbers on each one. So the reason this has been really handy is because I've had some people say, "Hey, like my package hasn't shipped out yet." And let's say sometimes that happens. Like, let's say I send something out on a Saturday leading up to Labor Day, and my item doesn't ship out till Tuesday. And they want to know, yo, where's my stuff, dude? Like, I ordered it on Friday. Like, I will send them that receipt to let them know that it's already in the shipper's hands.
yep.
But what does it do? It's just peace of mind.
Hmm.
It gets them off my back and helps me to deflect or defer that to the individuals that are now carrying or caring for the transit of their package.
Yeah.
Um, so to Chris's point, hey, that could be really helpful. It really actually can. So I don't get that email when I just drop something off at the U.S. Postal Service. But I can still show people like copies of receipts, but that email is just so much easier to access because it's like, how often are you walking around with a receipt from the post office? Like, I can access that email on my phone on the fly when I get messages from people, and that's what makes it so much easier. And I like it for that reason as well. Um, yeah. Trying to think if there's anything else like super critical. Oh, I will say this. Chris, is there any specific like rhythm and routine regarding work-life balance? Okay, we talked about the work. What about the life balance? Is there any programmed rest that you inject into your schedule to ensure that you feel ready to kind of like re-up and go again the following week?
No,
No,
I
not
just
at this
go,
stage of life.
like
Yeah.
every day is the same at this point. It's usually a workout starting around 9
Uh-huh.
if possible.
Yeah.
I mean, my kids have homeschool gyms on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, so I'm there at the gym with them on those days. On
Yeah.
Tuesdays like this, I go to my gym
Yeah.
and I bring them with me and that's, like, and then I do a walk sometime during the day that
Yeah.
kind of clears my head.
Yeah.
And I usually listen to a podcast and stuff while I'm doing that.
Cool.
Or I'll go on a walk with the family. It's some sort of walk out in nature, breathing air from Earth, you know.
Right. Yeah.
Um,
So
so,
but there is this sort of sense of like rest or respite that is programmed into part of your day that gives something back to you.
yeah, I would say workout is a rest for me. Like
Right.
just going
Endorphins.
to the gym, lifting the weights,
Yep.
kicking the endorphins,
Yep.
getting the gains, all of
Yeah.
that stuff.
I love
Um,
it.
I think that's more for me. I mean, in the morning, I'll wake up, drink coffee, hold the baby, do the stuff I got to do, you know. Um, but I wouldn't. I mean, I would have to say weekends are probably my intentional rest days, even though they're still work.
Sure.
Um, like we went to this past weekend was a good example of this actually. So we went to on Saturday we went to a restaurant in the morning, which we've been doing a lot more recently too. We've been going to the same restaurant for a while. Kids get pancakes, I get some healthy meal. Um, and then I had two people that wanted to sell me phones. They texted me and they were like, "Hey, through Google," and one was from Facebook, one was from Google. I closed them both that morning, and I was like, "Well, I'm not meeting up today, so like you can come to me." Um, and I was like, "I'm gonna be here at the restaurant." They didn't make it to the restaurant, so I was like, "All right, well, I'll be over at James Avery getting my wife another charm thing." And I was like, "You can just bring the phones over here if you want to sell them." And they both met me in the James Avery parking lot. And I
Incredible.
made like $250 in profit while we were, doing that. And then we went to where did we go after that? We went to Dick's Sporting Goods because my wife wanted some new tennis shoes. And then we realized they had a rock climbing wall there. So we went rock climbing that day. Um,
Nice.
and then yeah, like that's how, that's kind of if you want a snapshot into my life on the weekend, that's kind of what it looks like.
That's
It's
cool.
like we're out doing stuff, but if there's deals, like it's not
Sure.
like I'm dropping everything to go to the Starbucks, you know?
Right.
Like it's like if you want to sell me the phone, you just come to where I'm at,
Yeah.
I'll still buy it,
Yeah.
just but that's kind of like a snapshot into what that looks like.
Yeah. That's cool. Um, for me, I will usually take Saturday from about 5 p.m. to like noon on Sunday as like a kind of programmed downtime. I try not to do anything related to work. I try to be really present with my family, especially during that time. Um, for context, guys, I will once a month on Saturdays take my daughters on like a breakfast date. But usually on Saturdays, me and my family will get up and try to do something. Like we might scoot down the store to the donut shop, or kind of something similar to y'all, what y'all might do with your, kind of restaurant gallivant. Um, and then on Sunday, obviously on the weekends, like at some point, me and my family choose to worship, but also like we'll like go out to eat. Like after church, we'll like go to a spot, and that's our like intentional like family kind of like eat out meal for the week,
Yeah.
which is always really great. Sometimes that looks like coming home and just like crushing some pizza, which ain't too half bad, but and then like going into Sundays, just to be specific, guys, early Saturday, late on Sunday, I will do work stuff. Like early Saturdays are primo for reach out deals
Yeah.
because people aren't working and they post deals when they're not punching the clock. I say that all the time. Sundays are great because Sunday afternoon, usually like my family's just like doing whatever. So I can go out in the carport and be like uninterrupted and just get a few items packed up in preparation for Monday and feel like I've got a leg up on the week, which is really nice. And so sometimes I'll do that.
Yeah. I like that. Yeah. I mean, that's kind of what our work life balance looks like, guys. It's not anything sexy or, you know,
Just work.
it's just work, but with life kind of surrounding it, or
Yeah.
I guess work surrounding life in a way, depending
Yeah.
on what you put first and prioritize.
Yeah.
Um, so I mean, we're both dads. I mean, I'm a dad of three now, so
Watch out.
obviously, like priority is there. But I'm still here doing podcasts. I'm still, it's all about like building a system that kind of works for you.
Hmm.
Um, and not um compromising a whole lot on it. I think that's a big thing is like what I see a lot of people do is that, like they'll compromise on their family to go get deals, right? Like it doesn't have to be that way, you know? Like if you're having
For sure.
family time, you don't have to drop everything and like go get the deal. Like that's not they can just come to you. And my wife doesn't mind it, not anymore anyway, especially since they come to me. If I was like, "Hey babe, I need to go now. I got to get this deal." She would be mad. Like so,
And probably with good reason,
yeah, with good
because like
reason.
I think whoever's listening to this and whoever posed this question needs to realize like healthy boundaries are an important aspect of all walks of life, not just with like work-life balance, but like relationships and family dynamics and friends and other people. And it's like you got a boundary surrounding everything. Like you can't just work all the time. You're gonna burn out.
Yeah,
And like anybody who says they're not is a liar. Um, because it's not reasonable to think that you can do that all the time. What you got to do is just find like a rhythm where it's like you don't feel like you're drowning and you know that it's like marathon training. Like this is a sustainable pace that I can consistently do this. And Chris, we've talked about this term before, like predictable success is like you're trying to craft this arrangement of predictable success is like what is required for me day in and day out to achieve X. Chris is talking about 10K. For some of you guys, if you're early in the game, it might be 3 to 5K, right? If you have another job, you might just be making like $2,000 to $4,000 a month. But like, find what's reasonable without like hating yourself and making everybody around you miserable, and make that your routine. And if you can sit down and like have like shape that around like life priorities, whether it's like faith, family, friends, finances, like the fun you want to have, there's a lot of different things that I think people want to put in their life. And you shouldn't just feel like I'm just going to work all the time. And like reselling is going to quickly become like a misery for you
yeah,
if
it
that's the
will.
space that you're in. Like,
100%. Yeah.
and I think Chris and I have both probably, you ever been burned out from this, Chris?
100%, dude. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's just days where it gets really monotonous and you're like, "Oh my gosh, I gotta pack up that freaking MacBook." Like like
Yeah.
okay, this morning I was packing here's a good example, right? I was packing
Yeah.
up stuff. Um I packed up a MacBook and the Zune recorder thing that I showed on a couple podcasts ago is finally sold.
Nice.
And then another MacBook sold and I was like, "Ah."
The
Like
inconvenience of making money. This is, hold on,
and
let's
then I
appreciate this moment for a
recalibrated and I
second.
was like, "Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. I'm okay." Like that's like $100 in profit right there. So,
Dude, I've so felt that though. Like I want people to realize that there comes a point where making money and selling stuff will inconvenience you. And then like looking online at like more deals, be like, dude, I don't want another deal right now. Like I hope no one texts me today. I hope no one calls me because I don't want to talk to anybody.
oh, you hear Kevin Price talking about that in Slack. He's like, "Dude, I can't get these people to leave me alone." Like,
It's fair though. It's like at some point you just want a little space because you're like, dude, I've got all this stuff to pack, ship,
yeah,
and there's a rhythm to it, y'all.
yeah, yeah. This morning I was just packing stuff up and I was like literally about to go out the door to drop the stuff off and it another one sold and I was like, okay, let me
Right.
just turn around the inconvenience of the money that was just made.
Success.
You know,
I
uh,
know,
but
but I
but
know
it
that
it does
feeling.
get that way. Like it's
Yeah,
like okay, well, whatever. Okay, you know.
it is what it is.
It is what it is, and I'm fine with it. At this
Yeah.
point, because we got big goals right now. We're actually using the reselling stuff to save up for a home,
Whoop,
so
whoop.
pretty fat down payment.
Let's go.
Which it is growing incredibly fast with the reselling income, so it's pretty awesome.
Well, I
Um,
look I look forward to the podcast, and guys, mark the day
yeah,
where this is like flipped my way into a
I'm
house.
gonna flip my way into a house. That's exactly what's happening.
That's going to be a pod, everybody. I'm just going to say it
Yeah.
right now, Chris. That's got to be a pod.
Yeah, because we started it with very like I wanted to test it. I haven't put a video out about it. I'm not gonna do anything like that until it's actually done. Like until like it'll be cool. Because I'm using the flip like because what's happening is I have one bank account It's
Yeah,
connected to eBay and it's connected to all my digital payment methods. And
cool.
all it's doing is just circulating in and out. And like it's just growing every single week.
Awesome.
It's pretty cool to see.
Yeah.
But as far as the day goes, guy, like there's nothing sexy about this stuff. It is very monotonous. It gets boring after a while.
It's really routine, like a lot of
But
things.
I mean, you guys might see people out there, flashing the phones and, whoo, like all that stuff. And I'm just kind of like, all right, well, and if they're doing it with the new phones, I mean, they're doing a different business, but if we're being real,
No
um,
sealed inbox.
yeah, exactly. Um,
Um,
but yeah, it's nothing crazy, guys.
yeah, it's cool. It's practical. And I'll say this, like Chris says that like it's routine, it's monotonous, it's boring. I think all those things are true. But you know what? I will take that on my terms as my own boss
Yeah,
than I will on somebody else's terms. And I think that's one thing you got to realize. Like, let that sink in, like, sit in that moment and absorb that and let the gratitude like creep through you. That if you're in the process of transitioning or have transitioned to full time, you get to be your own boss. And if you don't have the bandwidth to understand what it's like to be your own boss yet, then mapping out your day might be really helpful. I'm just going to go ahead and reiterate that because it was a game changer for me to wrap my head around what I needed to do, what to expect, and how to start and finish each day. Um, I think a lot of guys, and I don't want to like paint anybody into a corner here, but I think a lot of guys do really well by like having those specific types of goals, whether it's a numeric monetary goal, like you've been talking about, Chris, or just like a daily goal of, this.
yeah.
You
That
make
is,
sure that,
yeah, that is something that I've spoke about before, is like you need to have some sort of goal, right?
yeah,
Otherwise, it will just get like you don't really want to do it kind of thing. Like
yeah,
you don't want to do it to the fullest extent that you should every day,
yeah,
right? Like
agreed.
that's the whole thing, right? Like every sale I make right now is like, all right, cool, that's another 150 to the down payment. That's another 200 to the down payment, another 80 to the down payment. Like that's kind of what's happening in my brain right now.
Yeah,
Once that's once that is done, I got to find something else, you know?
right.
Um,
Because I think in your way, it's like it's almost gamified. It's like your way
it
of
is.
keeping score.
Guys, I gamified calorie counting this morning. Like I was talking with chat and I was like, okay, how much does it? Because I got off the steak and eggs diet, added in bread, and I gained 20 pounds, and I'm not very happy with that. And then I figured out this morning that it takes 3,500 calories to burn 1 pound, and I'm like, wait, what? And I was like, okay, so how many does it take to burn like 30 pounds? And it was like, oh, you need 105,000. I'm like, oh, it's a game now. Okay. I was
Right.
like, let's turn the calories into XP and let's go, baby. Like,
Right. See, now you have a target to shoot at, which is pretty
now I have
cool.
a target to shoot. I need 105,000 calories, to burn. So, all right,
Yeah.
let's roll.
Yeah.
So, but that, like, I think it's a lot of it is like figuring out how your brain works, you know? Like, what
Yeah.
do you gravitate towards? I gravitate towards systems and
Yeah.
gamifying stuff. Like, that's just me. Um, I'm addicted to it. Like, I love it.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm kind of nuking my own Facebook page right now by using an AI that's over here. Like this morning, it was making offers even though it wasn't supposed to. And you know,
It's funny.
I'm okay testing it because I have the skills and the customer service skills to make sure that I can fix the problem. So,
Right. Right.
but well, guys, this has been another episode of the podcast. I gotta get this thing here pretty soon, and then I gotta go pick up some more deals at 5 o'clock. I got 3 people scheduled.
Rock
um,
on.
which is pretty dope. So scheduled meetup model, hoorah! Here we go. So if you guys want to see that, here it is. Um, boom, 3 people for five
Yay.
o'clock. I got 5:05, and 5:10. So line up, baby.
Hey.
Easy money, easy. All digital payments, by the way, none cash. So that's the only way I pay people pretty much nowadays. So. Um, check out the document below for Recelerator. Check that out. We got new pricing on that. Um, check out Console Kings below as well. And then also check out Catherine's camera course, which is doing pretty well. Wesley, who's in our program, just made like $400 or $500 on some cameras.
That's
So it's
sweet.
pretty cool. So check all the stuff out. Oh, school community, it's free. But if you get banned, well, if you don't finish the course, you get banned. So make sure you finish that. We're over 2,000 banned now. First live event, by the way.
Ooh,
So for those who are still here at the end of the podcast, we have our first live event coming up in January. There is a general admission fee that you can get. And then there is the Recelerator one, Recelerator tickets. If you're a Recelerator student, make sure to check Slack for those discounted tickets. And we're looking forward to seeing many of you guys there. So, and if you're in the Houston area, you can literally just drive out. So, yeah.
ooh, awesome.
With that being said, guys, we'll see you guys on the next one.